This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So have you heard this guy in the news, Matt? His name's Sean. I think it's Sean Diddy Combs. Have you heard about that guy?
You mean Sean Diddy Combs? Sean. Yeah. You've never heard that spelling of Sean before?
I just think it's ridiculous. S-H-A-W-N. Spell it right. Spell it right. Sean Connery can get away with it, R.I.P., but everybody else, come on, what are you doing?
Scene, yeah. So tell us about Scene.
So Scene has gotten a little bit of trouble. If you've been following the news, been doing some pretty gnarly stuff, or alleged gnarly stuff. And he listed his house for over $61 million in Beverly Hills back in
90210 area.
Yes, exactly. In September. So he listed it a few months ago. Guess what it's selling for?
So wait, how much was it selling for in September?
It was listed for a little over $61 million.
$61 million. Mm-hmm. And obviously he needs to get rid of it because he's going to be relocating to a little bit more confined area.
Yeah, he won't need, I mean, how many, it was huge. It was, oh man, this article's in meters, but 1,580 square meters. So that's what, almost like 12,000 feet?
Square feet?
That
doesn't seem like a whole lot.
Oh my gosh, it's huge.
For $62 million, I guess, in Beverly Hills, yeah. So anyways, that was 2 months ago.
2 months ago. And
when things were going good for Scene, right?
When they were going good,
for him.
Scene P. Diddy. And but
17,000 square feet.
How much?
17,000.
Oh, I was off by.
Yeah, I thought that was a little off. So 17,000 square feet.
That's why I do real estate. If it was 3%, I could have helped you out. but
anyways, he's obviously had to do a price reduction.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But who's going to buy the house?
I would.
Like JJ, would you?
Why?
By the way, JJ's on the show. JJ Mack, lender extraordinaire with Made for More Lending. Just kidding.
He's our Scene expert.
Might as well be.
Yeah. Entertainment reporter.
Yeah.
Scene, yeah. I'm with you, Johnny.
Poor Scene.
S-E-A-N.
But but who would want to buy that house? Like,
why
talk about
you
stigma.
Want to buy? I mean, okay, so let's just be clear here. He's been accused of messing around with kids inappropriately. Right?
Yeah, and
correct.
Accusation,
right?
yes.
Accusations.
He's been accused of that.
Kids, women,
possibly in that home.
Like, what was that comedian's name? JJ?
Bill Cosby. Yeah,
Bill Cosby.
Kind of
next level. Bill Cosby.
Wow. Okay. So, anyways, he's been accused of doing this possibly in that home.
In the home
that they're selling.
In the home that's being sold.
So you have someone coming along and saying
they want to buy it.
They want to buy it.
They want to buy it, but it's actually a crowd-based, like a California-based real estate crowdfunding firm called Bellwood Estates.
Oh, so it's not even like a real estate agent.
It's not even an individual, which makes sense to me.
Okay, so how much have they lowered it to?
They put an offer in for $30 million.
Wow.
So less than half of the list price.
That's what he hasn't accepted that offer, but that's the offer they put in.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. How would you list a home like that? Would you be able? How would you do that? Is that you have to disclose all that information, obviously?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, without a doubt. You'd have to disclose what?
Disclose what?
Like, how would you,
If there was a crime committed in the house?
So when it comes to disclosures, you just want to make sure that you are communicating to any prospective buyer any relevant information that they may want to know. Like over-disclose.
But he hasn't been found guilty of any crime yet in that home.
But what if you buy the house and he is, and you didn't even know this was going on?
I don't know. I bet you this firm kind of understands what's going on.
I agree.
And they've been aggressive in what they're offering, and I applaud that. That's what I would do. Absolutely. If I saw an opportunity to get a good deal because of whatever circumstance, I don't care what happened in the house. I mean, it does. I'll clean it and it'll be my home.
I'll clean it.
Right?
Really good.
I get for
clear out the baby oil, the pallets of baby oil.
For a lot of people, that might be an issue for them. If somebody died in the home, if a murder happened in the home, I get it. If
there are people who don't like the orientation of specific homes or where the toilets are.
Exactly.
Or there's people, or if you're close to a cemetery or a railroad track, and this felonies were potentially committed in this property. So
I don't think he's going to take the offer. I don't think he'll take it.
You don't think?
That seems like 30 half price. Have you ever seen anything like that? Have you ever seen a home do a 50% price reduction and it gets sold for that price?
Funny, you should ask.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
You have?
Yeah. Well, here's another example. So this guy, so since we're just doing some news highlights, this guy's a billionaire, right? So the guy knows how to make a couple bucks. His name's Ken Griffith. He wants to get out of Chicago quick. So he sells his penthouse that he bought in 2017 at a 44% loss.
Jeez.
So, and he's not in a lawsuit. He just wouldn't leave Chicago.
There you go. Yeah, but he's a billionaire. Yeah, that's crazy.
Supposedly Diddy was at one point.
Yeah.
I think Diddy was close.
That's
was he
true.
really?
Yeah, he was close.
Anyways, I don't know. I'd take the deal. As long as there wasn't any like witchcraft, seance, weird stuff happening in the house, then I'd be okay.
So
Like
that's
demonic spirit.
But there are some people who wouldn't care about that.
I know.
So I'm just saying disclose.
So everybody has their thing.
Just
everybody
disclose.
has their thing.
Yeah, disclose and let the buyer decide.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is be getting sued by. Can you imagine getting sued by somebody who's buying a $30 million house or a $60 million house?
Yeah, you're losing that one.
Yeah,
They got
I
big
wouldn't want to
lawyers.
deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the name of the company?
That's purchasing Scene's house.
Yeah.
It is Bellwood Investments.
So what do you think they want to do with the home?
I have zero idea.
Well, if they're getting a good deal on it, they might just flip it, right?
Yeah.
They could probably just,
I figure that's what
Do
they're
some
going to do.
charity events.
Yeah, they'll find a buyer for it for sure. And maybe it might take a while after this has been out of the headlines.
Yep.
And they don't. I mean, I guess you're right. They would have to disclose that this was owned by Scene Pity Combs, right? And they're like, "Who's Scene? I don't know."
Hey, that's how I pronounce
Right.
it. Yeah. I disclosed.
Do you
Yeah.
think you would have to disclose that certain things happened in the home like that?
Either allegedly at this point or if he's
Really?
convicted, absolutely.
Maybe you'd have to say there was allegedly things going on. in
At this
house. We
point, I
don't
would
know
say
yet.
alleged. At
Oh,
this
I
point, I
didn't
would
know
say
that.
alleged. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah.
Okay, well then there you go. See,
So-
but I think there's plenty of buyers, especially maybe there's a buyer from another country, an international buyer who's never even heard of Sin Pity Combs, and they're
So not to get too controversial, but like, for example, Iraq, I don't know if you heard about this, they're talking about dropping the legal age of consent from 18 to 9.
oh my gosh.
Isn't that
What?
crazy? Yeah.
So how did we go
Horrible.
into that topic?
So my point is, if they're good with 9-year-old brides,
Right,
maybe they'll
sure.
buy Diddy's house.
Great, good point. Good point.
You know,
That's
they don't give a
true.
rip.
Yeah,
They don't care.
and that's
So-
what I think will happen. They'll find a buyer who doesn't care and get a great deal on it. I mean,
Well, that's-
I just can't see
yeah.
him selling it for 50% off. That just seems ludicrous.
Well, here's the thing.
To speak of another rapper,
You speak, oh gosh, dad joke. But you bring up a good point. So many people, whether you're selling a $60 million home or whether you're selling a $400,000 house, so many people get hung up on that listing price. It's a listing price. It's a marketing price. It's not the value of the home. You can choose the marketing price, but the value of the home, the actual what it's going to sell for, is up to the buyer.
Sure.
It's not up to the seller.
absolutely.
So there's you guys know the Golden State Killer. Mm-hmm. So I did the
Not personally, but
well, yeah, yeah. So there was he sold his house obviously he's
yeah.
did bad things, went away.
Absolutely.
And so because of that, the daughter had to sell the house, and I did the loan on that house when they sold.
Wow.
The person buying the house.
Person buying the house. And so he had to be disclosed. All that stuff was in the disclosures.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that particular home was not selling because of what had happened.
Sure.
He obviously had this basement. It was weird.
See, that one would freak me out a little bit. I don't know that I would buy that.
Because there might
house.
still be things on the property that you didn't even know about.
It's just evil. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a house like that. No way.
But the guy that came into it got an amazing deal.
Sure.
Because of that reason.
Right.
Do you remember the numbers at all? Like what it was listed at, what it sold for?
I do, but I can't say. I'm not supposed to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But was it more
Okay.
than a 50% discount?
It was almost.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like 60%.
Again, there
Really?
are people that are interested in stuff like that, or they don't
not
care.
deterred. They're not deterred.
They don't
Yeah.
care. That's one of the homes I would not buy. But
Yeah.
I felt the same. It's like, I don't even want to do the loan on this house. It was weird.
you're like, okay, I'll do it for the money.
Who was, not necessarily like disclosing who the buyer was, but was it an investor or was it somebody wanting to live there personally?
It was actually a first-time home buyer.
There you go.
He needed help, and he was able to find a home for a lot cheaper than usual, and got a great home in a great area. Obviously, not so great because of what happened there, but because of the bones around it.
I wonder how the neighbors are. Like, are the neighbors like cool or are they like
Trying to get out of there.
Yeah. It's like the neighborhood definitely improved with him moving in. It can't get any worse than the Golden State Killer.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine block parties? Like on that street before you knew he was a Golden State Killer? Like I would be second guessing everything. Like what was he? Yeah. Anyways, moving off. Let's talk about something positive.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So aside from getting 50% off on homes, JJ, you're a lender. How long you been doing this? Like 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, just 2, 3, 16, something like
2,
that.
3, 16. Yeah, man.
Why did you decide to get into this type of career?
Oh man.
Did you go to college?
I went to college for 4 years. At the end of that 4th year, got out.
Did you graduate?
No. So I was going to go back my 5th year for one more quarter and graduate. But at the end of that 4th year, I got a job at a mortgage company and just loved it and thought, I'm good at this. Why would I need to go back to college?
What did you love about it?
I loved talking to people. I loved the fact that I felt like an expert in something, and I had never felt like that way before.
Oh, that's cool. Love that.
And so now, fast forward 16 years later, you've been ranked like the #1 guy in plaster for a long time.
Not counting builder.
Not counting builder. Yeah. Builder accounts. So explain quickly the difference between that and builders, so people don't.
Yeah. So like, as a builder lender, you're obviously sitting at a builder subdivision, and people are walking in, and you're getting those deals like in a car dealership. I'm working at Ford, people are coming in to buy a Ford car. You get the deals when they're coming in.
So that person working in finance at Ford dealership. That's funny you said Ford. You don't drive a Ford.
I don't drive a Ford.
So the people at the GMC dealership, the Chevy dealership, they're going to do more auto loans because you're sitting there than maybe a credit union, that your rep at the credit union, who you have to call up and say, hey, what am I qualified for?
Yeah, you got to go out and get the business.
Yeah.
And have relationships.
Yeah. But for regular loan officers who are out there working with buyers and sellers, not doing builder accounts, you're one of the best in the area, one of the best in the country. In fact, like your numbers are crazy. Like you, anyways, I could sing your praises all day long, but what I want to know is, do you have any insight on why interest rates are so volatile? Like the Fed dropped the fund rate in September, they dropped it again in November, and interest rates are still high. Like what are you seeing in the wonderful world of interest rates?
Yeah, I mean, it's also this big old inflation thing. We've talked about this before, but and it's being even more volatile because we had this presidential election, and we were going one way. And now, as a Democratic Party, they're a little bit lighter on inflation. They're not trying to get it there so quick, where Republican Party is really tough on inflation, and they want to get things moving fast and quick and fast and furious. And so I think that's going to change a lot, where we're going to see interest rates maybe stay higher for a little bit longer because of the fact they're going to fight inflation harder. So
when you say a little bit longer, are we talking like another year? Like what? Do you have any insight on that?
I hope not. I don't think so. I think we're going to see it, definitely into the new year, and then hopefully within this first quarter we can really get things under wraps. The way that our new president Trump is talking, he feels very strongly that he's going to be able to come in, get this thing under control, and then help the American people with lower prices.
Yep. Okay. And so another thing I've heard about interest rates is people are just nervous, like investors and stuff are nervous about the deficit. Took 200 and something years to get to 12 trillion, and then we blew through that in like 12 years. It's pretty insane. And so maybe, if we are able to get a handle on the deficit, get a handle on the budget, if Elon and what's the other guy's name?
The V. Vivek, I think, something like that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
If they're able to, cut a couple $1 trillion out of the budget of stuff that people aren't benefiting from,
right?
Maybe that will ease global tensions about, hey, is this currency still sound, or is it going to be? Are they going to have issues?
It's going to go to Bitcoin.
Yeah, go to Bitcoin, go crypto. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I've been hearing. It's the election that's behind us, so we'll see how that plays out. I've been hearing about the deficit, and then obviously inflation and unemployment. How are unemployment numbers looking?
Yeah, man, it's hard to tell. It seems like every single unemployment number we get ends up getting revamped the next month.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's
noticeably, because I remember that one, it was pretty bad, but
yeah, several percent every single month, and so it's hard to tell exactly where unemployment is. It does look that things did get a little worse, but this last month in October, and then than what they were supposed to be. But then hopefully this next month we're seeing things get better. The reason why is because kids were going back to school. And so when you have these kids going back to college, these working age people, they were working, and then all of a sudden they're not working anymore.
I can't imagine going to college and not working. Did you work in college?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Had to.
Me too.
Yeah, I did. My wife did. But I don't have any college debt either.
What'd you do in college?
What did I worked. I
worked.
Like
radio or?
Yeah, you know what I was doing? I was working at this radio station. I've been here almost 25 years.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, crazy. But I also worked, where else did I work? I worked at a car wash. I worked at Round Table. I worked at Wiener Schnitzel's. I worked in a care home. You got to hustle.
Care home. That is hard. I would not want to work in a care home.
Oh, man, like helping bathe adults, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not my thing.
No, of course not.
But I graduated college debt free as well, and then
Yep. Same.
instantly racked up a bunch of credit card debt when I
There
took a
you
real
go.
estate course. So that's a story. That's a story for
You
a
should have
different
took
day.
the Dave Ramsey course first.
Yeah.
Then the real estate
I
course.
didn't even know he existed. I took the Dave Ramsey course
There you
after
go.
I had some problems. Hey, but when we come back, we were going to be talking about the increased number of down payment assistance programs. So if you're looking to buy a house and you're wondering, hey, are there options out there? Are there still programs out there? Yes, and they have increased significantly year over year.
Okay, Matt, it is no secret this time of year can get a little bit stressful because there's so much that you need to do. You're spending money left and right for friends, family, everyone coming over. And if you're trying to sell your home at this time, you just want it done easy. And that's what Sabrina wanted. So she called Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team, and she was able to get a cash offer for her home, a dream offer. She accepted it and was even able to stay in her home after closing so she could have a smooth transition to her next home, which Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty helped her buy.
And that can happen for you. No need to do all those costly home repairs, getting your home staged and clean and organized, doing open houses. At least 3 cash offer guys for your home in as-is condition. It's happening to a lot of people. Why not you? Because you expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 1982-171.